Redondo Beach. It's my pleasure to be here and to welcome you on behalf of the Redondo Beach Chamber of Commerce for the annual Candidates Forum for District 1. Today is a great day for the city as we enter into another round of local elections. Once again, my name is Charles Gale, and I'm the immediate past chair for the Redondo Beach Chamber, and I will be your moderator for this section. Beginning this forum, we'd like to take a moment to recognize the Chamber sponsors this year. This year, I'd like to announce the 2013 Chairman Circle Partners in this order: Providence Little Company of Mary, Northrop Grumman, AES Generating, Athens Service, the South Bay Galleria, Crown Plaza, Redondo Beach and Marina Hotel, Kaiser Permanente, the Portofino Hotel and Yacht Club, California Water, and Opus Bank. I want to thank all those organizations for helping sponsor the Chamber year in, year out. Today's format, I've already gone over with our candidates, but it'll be kind of straightforward. We're giving them time to do a self-introduction of 2 minutes each. We have a set of 6 questions we're going to read to the candidates. They have 1 minute to answer those questions, and then they'll have a 1 minute closing statement. If there is time, we do have a couple extra questions. Unfortunately, we will not be taking any questions from the audience. We want to encourage the audience to stay later for the afternoon reception and to get to know the candidates one-on-one. So please do not leave early today, or if you do need to leave early, please make sure you come back for the meet and greet candidates reception at 4:30. So we did draw numbers to see who went first, and Kimberly, she won first. But I'm going to start the forum now and begin with Kimberly. So welcome. Are you ready?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Kimberly Fine, a home and business owner in Redondo Beach, and I'm running for City Council to serve the community, to rebuild public safety, revitalize local businesses, and fulfill the will of the voters. The public safety record of Redondo Beach was a factor when I bought my home 12 years ago. We were at 115 officers. Today, we are at 84. We are below the national average for a community of our size. I believe restoring public safety numbers will provide the strong foundation we need to revitalize local business, make families feel safe, and attract new business to grow our local commerce. Last year, I fought for a more equitable structure to the sewer tax increase, unfair to single-family homes and those on fixed incomes. In the process, I learned many decisions at City Hall are based on what is easiest, not necessarily what is right or fair. As your councilwoman, you can count on me to do what is right, even if it's not the easiest solution. I will not accept taxpayer-funded fringe benefits. I believe City Council is about serving the community to meet the needs of the individuals and the families that make up our neighborhoods and the businesses that create our economy. As a business owner, I have a track record of success bringing differing opinions to common ground. And as your councilwoman, I will seek solutions that benefit the larger community. I am not tied to one special interest, and I care about our city as a whole. I am running to serve our community, not as a stepping stone for higher office. So if rebuilding public safety, revitalizing local businesses, and honoring the will of voters is important to you, then I would appreciate your vote March 5th. I thank the Chamber for hosting this forum, the committee that made it possible, and for all of you for making the time to attend. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jim Light. Appreciate all you coming out today to listen to this forum. Your choice for councilman is critical. Redondo is at a crossroads in our history where the land use decisions of the next few years will affect our city for generations to come. Will we let a power plant be built in our harbor that will blight the harbor for the next 50 years? What kind of development will we allow in the harbor, the pier, and some of the other properties that are up for redevelopment over the next few years? Will we allow cookie-cutter commercial overdevelopment to destroy our quaint seaside village charm? My vision is to retain our seaside village charm through quality development rather than overdevelopment, and to strike a balance between developer profits and resident quality of life. This is not just a platform for me, a platform of words. I've been fighting for this for the last 10 years, starting back in 2002 with the heart of the city, where we stopped zoning for 3,000 condos right down here in the harbor. I've since served for over a year on the Citizens Growth Management and Traffic Committee, where we set up tough traffic standards for new development in the community. I'm a co-author of Measure DD, which allows all of us in the audience today to vote on major zoning changes in Redondo Beach. And more recently, I'm the co-author of Measure A, which gives us our only chance to stop a power plant from being built that will blight our harbor for the next 50 years. I also have the qualifications to go along with this platform. Education-wise, I have an engineering degree and I earned a master's in business administration. As a former military officer, I have experience administering large public budgets and competing and managing large public contracts. And today, as a business executive, I have experience with setting and executing the budgets and setting the strategic plan that would map the growth of our company. I have demonstrated my commitment to our quality of life in Redondo, and I pledge to you that I will continue this commitment if elected as your councilman. I hope that you will trust and honor me with your vote to be your councilman. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeff Ginsberg, and I want to thank everybody for coming out and having me today. I'm a small business owner who works and lives in District 1. I have 3 children. I have 2 grandchildren. I'm married to my wife, Melissa, and you might have seen me refereeing soccer games or doing my 5K runs down the bike path. I'm the candidate who will build consensus in the community on the tough issues, bring people together, move our city forward, and get things done. I've been a Public Works Commissioner for over 5 years, so I'm quite familiar with how things work up here, listening to the public and making responsible decisions. I've been on the Riviera Village Business Improvement District Advisory Board, it's a long name, for over 10 years. I've been involved with providing numerous community events, including Summer Festival, Halloween, and of course, our holiday stroll. I've had a lot to do with creating our farmers market, adding the LED cable lighting, identity banners, new bike corral, currently working a hotel shuttle drop-off pickup location near the kiosk. I went through the 2006 Leadership Redondo program, which is what began my quest towards running for City Council now. My goal is to use my skills to help our city work more efficiently without sacrificing services and keep public safety a priority. I want to bring people together on the difficult topics and get things done. I would be honored to have your support and vote on March 5th. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Diana Prado, and I'm running for District 1 City Council. I decided to run for City Council because I think that the political atmosphere needs to change. I think that a lot of everything involved in politics comes down to who's backing you, who's your endorser, and where the big money comes, and I'm tired of that. I want to inspire people. My goal not only is to win, but to inspire people to be able to get involved, to run in your local elections. Know that you yourself, your friends, your son, your daughter, your neighbor, you can be up here one day as well. It doesn't take money or endorsements to be able to run for City Council. It takes passion, dedication, and courage. And I believe that I have all those 3 things. I want to ask the tough questions. I want to ask the Chamber of Commerce, isn't there a conflict of interest between having the platinum sponsor BAES and yet you want to bring more tourists and visitors and have business growth? Isn't that a conflict of interest? That's a tough question, and I want to ask it, just as Jim might have asked it as well, I want to point out. So I want to bring that change. I'm a fresh face, I'm new, but I think it's time for change. And if you think that it's time for change and to shake up the political atmosphere, to change what is politics today, then vote for me, Diana Prado. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I hope everyone in the audience had a chance to understand a little more about the personalities of our candidates here. Before we move on, we're going to move on to our questions portion, but I just wanted to remind everyone, both on the up here on the dais and also in the audience, that we've asked each candidate to show each other a common courtesy. There are no personal attacks today, and do not interrupt each candidate while they have the floor. I'm also asking if you have a cell phone to turn that off or turn it on vibrate or silence. That'd be great. And then also not to interrupt any of the candidates as they're speaking. So if everyone could do that both today, that'd be great. So we're going to move on to question number 1, and we're going to start with Jim this time. So question number 1, the citizens and business owners in Redondo Beach appreciate the commitment you are making to running for public office. Please tell us why you are running and what made you make that decision.
Okay, well, I think I covered most of that in my initial 2-minute statement. I've been driven by a passion to improve our community. I think we've got a jewel in the rough here, and I think we've gone the wrong way of development of our city through the years, where we've done the easy path of giving up to developers big property areas and then letting them define what's going to be built. I think what City Council should do is set the vision and then do the harder job of attracting the quality development that can retain our small seaside village type atmosphere while still having a thriving business community. And it's that striking that balance between the business side and the residents that has driven me to run for office this time. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And remember, 1 minute on the answers. So, Jeff, you're next.
Yes. Well, the reason I'm running is because I just love the city of Redondo Beach. I've, over the years, just really, I love the neighbors, the way things work is where we can do a little tweaking, and I think that myself, because I've gotten to know all the different folks within the city, and I know pretty much everyone up here somewhat now, and I can work with people very, very well. I have a unique ability of working when people are on right and left-hand sides, bringing them together and getting things done. And that's, my whole emphasis here is, it seems right now the city is in those positions where it's, no, take this side, no, take that side, back and forth, and I know I can work on that and bring change in the future.
Okay, great. Next candidate.
Thank you. What made me come to running for city council or start getting involved in politics was right after law school. I started becoming more involved in attending protests, researching the issues that candidates were proposing, and realizing that they were making a lot of promises and not really coming to fulfill those promises. And so I was tired of that. I was tired of seeing politicians over and over again pander to the masses, and I just thought, I think it's important to get involved in local politics. I don't want to be that cookie-cutter politician. I don't want to be somebody like that. I want to change things. And so I moved here to Redondo about 3.5 years ago. I love the Redondo Beach community, and I think it was a great opportunity to be able to speak out, if not to speak out and at least get that message heard, get the message heard about the change and the environment of politics.
Great. Kim.
I'm running for city council because I'm an everyday person who wants to make a difference in her city. I grew up in Orange County, and I saw what can happen when city council doesn't listen to the community. And I don't want to see Redondo Beach become anything other than the gem I know it can be. And I just feel as an everyday person, my voice is not enough. And serving on city council will give me the opportunity to make the difference.
Great, thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to question number 2. We're going to start with Jeff this time. The Riviera Village business owners have voted to tax themselves and form a business improvement district called a BID. Do you support the BID? If yes, why? If no, why? Or why not? And we're going to start with Jeff.
Yes, us village people, we did tax ourselves, and the reason was the village for many, many years needed improvements and was crying for some change over there, and so all the business owners got together, and I was involved with all that. And it was actually the first bid, I believe, in the city that was formed, and has allowed us to now, as a community or merchant community, decide how to do things in the village, which is before it was not very well organized. Now we have a very organized bid board, and most merchants get involved with that in one way or another. And it's turned out to be a very good thing for the Riviera Village with all the great events that we have each year. And if you've been down there in the last several years, most of that is as a result of the bid board. And I'm looking forward to many more years of it.
Okay, next.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about the bid, but just hearing in regards to the fact that the business owners themselves decided to tax themselves to redevelop that, since that was their decision, I would think that they would be they would be favorable. What crosses my mind is, what about new business owners? What about people coming in that didn't have a voice in that opinion? Does that make a difference to them? And in terms of new business growth, it's very hard for a new business to start up. So that needs to be taken in consideration as well. I would hope that more merchants are involved and that there is some type of mechanism in order to get more people involved so that there isn't an overpowering of a vote and not everyone is heard.
Okay, great. Kim?
I have to say I agree with you. I don't know much about it, but hearing about it, if it is something that the business owners decided to do, I do applaud them for coming up with a way to generate the revenue that they need to put the village in the direction that they want it to go. I just hope that there is a way for new businesses to have a voice and be heard.
Let's see, the questions about the bid, and what I've seen through Riviera Village is an improvement since the bid has started. So in general, I'm supportive of the bid. However, I have heard some business people, as I've been going around dissenting, that they think that there's some politics that aren't necessarily positive in the bid. And frankly, I haven't had the time to hear both sides of that. I do think that those dissenting votes need to be listened to and find out if there's some common ground we can come to try to quell that over. But I think overall we've seen a positive impact of the bid, and I'd support it in the future, and I think we ought to look at it as a potential model for other areas in the city. In fact, I know that the Southern California Association of Governments has highlighted that area as a model for horizontal mixed use in our area. Thank you.
Okay, great. That concludes question 2. Diana, the next one is going to be for you. This is question number 3. A majority of the city revenues come from businesses in the city. As a policymaker, what would you focus on the general business issues in your district and throughout the city to help create a business success and job creation?
Going back to small business growth, I think it's really important to be able to encourage small business growth, because in order to have not only encourage small business growth, but make sure that they thrive. And so with that, I think in toying over ideas in my head, to have perhaps like a 5-year plan for small business growth, for small businesses, in order to be able to perhaps not tax them as much in the beginning and make sure that they do thrive. In terms of thriving, we want to make sure that they're able to hire people, because in order to be able for them to bring employment that generates revenue for themselves and then also for the city. So I think that some type of model to be able to assist what is small business growers, be able to thrive is, I think, what I would like to focus on. Thank you.
Great. Kim?
I believe the small businesses of Redondo Beach are really the greatest source of revenue for Redondo Beach. They have so much opportunity. And I believe it's very important for the city to make it easier for new businesses to get established. I've spoken to many business owners, and I found that they're quite discouraged by the process of getting established and the number of days that the city can be closed that actually interferes with them being able to move forward. So making people at City Hall more accessible to new business as they're getting established, and putting together some kind of plan, bringing new businesses together and hopefully getting everyone working together.
I believe the city has a role in attracting quality businesses and the right kind of businesses that become a route for other businesses to feed off of. And to that extent, I think we should look to the model of El Segundo, which seems to attract a lot of business to it through a lot of its incentives. So I think we should explore incentives for business, the right kind of businesses to start up in our town. I think we should be working to attract a business campus from like an aerospace firm or a movie firm to move to Redondo and give them the incentives to do that, and that becomes a route for other businesses to make money off of. There's 2 other looming issues that I think we need to fight hard, and that is sequestration and the potential move of LA Air Force Base. A lot of business in this area is driven by the aerospace industry, and if LA Air Force Base moved and the sequestration hit, I think we're in for some trouble here in Redondo Beach. Thank you.
What attracts small business is customers. You need to have customers, and then the businesses thrive. And that's why my focus has been for years being on the bid board of bringing more people to our area. one of the biggest problems with bringing people to our area has been the cars because of the parking issues, and that is why I am pushing very hard for a shuttle program with all the hotels so that we bring more customers to our area, and then even new, existing businesses and new businesses will do much better as a result of that. Also, I've been involved with the bike corral, which you may have seen down there, and trying to get people more into pedestrian friendly so that people walk to the village or people ride their bikes as opposed to cars that they cannot find places to park.
Okay, great. Question number 4, and we're going to start with Kim this time. The city budget is becoming more constrained. How would you focus your spending priorities as a council member?
I would like some time to sit with the budget and look it over. As I understand it, there's currently set aside in the budget salaries for up to 90 police officers, which is below the number we have now. And I'm wondering if one of the reasons we don't have more officers is because that money might have been spent elsewhere. As a business person, I know if you start a project and you set aside a certain amount of money for funding and you see that project is getting out of control, I'm the type of person that would say, hey, let's stop, let's revisit, and not throw good money after bad. And I believe when I look at the budget now, I see places where they've gone over budget, and instead of having the courage to say, wait, we need to do something different, they move forward.
Thank you. Jim.
Well, obviously, public safety is number one on expenditures. But second, I would, to make more revenue available, I would hold some of our city staff more accountable for their jobs and do less outsourcing than we do today. A lot of money goes to outsourcing, and I feel like we should hold our staff to performing some of those duties that we outsource today. I would also prioritize those activities that foster business growth that would generate more positive cash flow for the city, but I realize there's a lead lag effect to that the investment up front would take a few years to pan out. I think we should be focusing on how we revitalize our business districts so that we can get that revenue up. Thank you.
Great. Jeff?
I believe that our city, compared to a lot of cities, is actually doing very, very well right now, and which is great. But at the same time, I think that our police force, I think everyone up here realizes that we have far less officers than we really should. We do need to focus on that, and. But the other way that instead of always saving money, there's other ways of making money. Like I said, bringing shuttles and things to the Riviera Village is going to generate more income, more tax revenue, and that's going to benefit the city as well. I'm also one that's all into finding efficient ways to without losing services, using the resources we have. For instance, what I've been pushing real hard, the LED streetlight program saves us many thousands of dollars. But we don't lose lights. We have beautiful lights that cost us 80% less revenue, and that can be used somewhere else, possibly with the police department.
Diana.
Thank you. I agree with most everyone up here in regards to creating business growth and revitalizing what is our business center. But what I also think is really important is making sure that families and everybody in the community is actually prospering themselves. Because when our community is prospering, then they can spend money in our community and be able to build more revenue that way. I'm looking into where is our affordable housing going? How is, despite the fact that Redondo Beach is a very affluent community, there are people of low income. There are people that need resources. We do still have homeless people out on the beaches and on the streets. Taking a look at that, and in terms of, well, where are you going to find money in the budget for that? You have to look at the budget, but I think that if the community and the people are taken care of, then that reflects as a whole and is able to put more revenue out there for Redondo Beach. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. That concludes question number 4. We're going to move to question number 5 at this time. The question is, AES has submitted plans to repower into a much smaller footprint and has offered to have up to 38 acres for other uses. Is Measure A the right solution for the AES site, or do you prefer another solution? And we're going to start with Jim.
Okay, well, I think everybody knows, as the co-author of Measure A, I think the smaller footprint's the wrong way to go. We don't need power from that site. City studies have shown it's a blighting influence in our harbor. Why invest $150 million to $200 million in our harbor and rebuild a blighting influence in the harbor? AES, what they're doing is pushing their plant right up against the property line and then opening up land so they can make more money off the commercial development. So it's a lose-lose for our community. And I think the Measure A zoning takes the park zoning that's there today and then swaps the power plant zoning for substantial commercial zoning that is on the same density level as in the harbor. I think that's fair. I think it's the right thing for our community, and I think it's the best thing for the waterfront revitalization. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Jeff.
Yes, the power plant is the complicated one on the books today. There's no question about it. I mean, personally, I don't want a power plant in my backyard. I don't think anyone else up here, if they had the choosing, wants a power plant in their backyard. That's certainly not what any of us desire. However, the power plant was there long before most the housing and everything else, and there's land use rights issues that I feel that really prevail on this. I mean, I would rather not have a power plant there, but really the right thing to do is respect landowner rights. Just because my neighbor has or wants to build a two-story house where they're allowed to are they not allowed to because it's going to block my view? What it is landowner rights. If they have the right to do that, they should be allowed to do it. And the power plant, as much as I would not want to have them, my next door neighbor, if I moved in there, I also realize that they're there.
Great, thank you. You're up.
I'm in support of Measure A and think that Jim Light has done a fantastic job in making sure that Measure A got on the ballot and in working really hard for for us to not have a power plant. In regards to the legal issues, I think that there's concerns about it, but everyone's scared of this legal battle that we're going to throw our city into. But I don't think anybody's really taken. I know that Jim Light actually had a forum with attorneys on it, and I'm not quite sure how many of the community members attended, but everyone's really concerned about it. But I have, and I've brought it, and I could bring more copies of it. There's actually a case called Kelo versus the City of New London that allows what is the taking of private property for economic development of a city and for growth of a city. So I think that we need to fight what is the huge corporations. I think everyone's scared of fighting huge corporations, but that's what we're here to do. The power is in the people's hands, and the people have spoken. They've got Measure A on the ballot, so I support Measure A.
Kim.
Measure A. It's true, none of us want a power plant in our backyard, and I really feel that my views on this don't matter. As a council person, I will honor the vote of the people on Measure A. I see both sides of the issue. There are rezoning issues in there regarding property rights. There's the threat of the lawsuit. Is it the right thing? It's something, and it's a start. It's getting people thinking, and it's creating action. But as far as where I stand where the majority stands, and I will honor the vote of the people.
Great, thank you very much. And that concludes question number 5. Question 6 is kind of similar, but it's on the regional level. So what is the most important regional issue facing our community, and what action would you take to address it? And we're going to start with Jeff.
Well, regionally, the issues out there are, for citywide right now is really probably the public safety thing has that's been a concern of mine just because, obviously we had the issue over at the Galleria recently, and I've heard about all the different things with regards to the difficulty of our force with less officers and things. I think we really need to examine that and turn that around in our community. That's our police and fire and public safety is one of the things that attracts people to our neighborhoods, and one of the reasons people want to live here and want to buy here. And I want everyone to feel safe, and I think we can do that and get back to that again.
Great. Diana.
Yes. Real quick in regards to public safety, if you look up the crime statistics that are on the Redondo Beach website, crime rate has actually stayed the same between 2010 to 2012. So I don't want to take away the effect of what is police officers and the firefighters, because I commend them for everything that they're doing. I just think that we also need to look at what the statistics are out there in regards to that issue. I'm a civil rights, housing rights attorney. I deal with homeless population all the time. I don't think that we have a huge homeless population here, but I think it's something that we need to look into. And I would encourage all of you on January 30th to take part of the homeless census count that is going on here. If you need information on that, I'm going to have it for you. And I think that another huge issue is the power plant, and we can't hide about it. We can't overlook the fact that that is a huge issue that we need to take into consideration within our city. It affects all of Redondo Beach. I've never had a friend come tell me that they want to come see the power plant in Redondo Beach. Thank you.
Great. Kim?
For me, it is definitely public safety. I've earned the endorsement of the police and fire in both Hermosa Beach and Redondo Beach, and I really believe in restoring the numbers of our public safety. It just creates a domino effect. If you don't have a place where people feel safe shopping, they're not going to go and spend, and our economy is going to stagnate. The statistics may not have changed between 2010 and now, but the types of crimes have changed, and they're getting more severe. So it is important to realize that statistics may stay the same, but if you look at what's actually happening, it's getting more dangerous. And I really think public safety is priority number one.
Okay, the question was on the biggest regional issue, and I think on the ones that Redondo can affect, AES is the biggest regional issue. It does affect our neighbor, Hermosa Beach, and anybody who owns a boat and uses the marina area or any of the bike path and or any of the amenities in the harbor. So I do think AES is the number one, but I've talked a lot about that. So my second vote is on sequestration and the potential loss of LA Air Force Base. That would have a devastating effect to our region. It would cut jobs. We'd have a lot of people laid off, and that would ripple out to all the businesses that they frequent. It would drive down property values. So I think the city should invest some time and effort into fighting sequestration and fighting to keep LA Air Force Base, as I know we did the last time around. Thank you.
Great. Now that concludes our first 6 questions, and as your moderator here, I think we can go extra innings now. So our first extra credit question of the day. There are some residents that complain about traffic within the city. Do you believe we have a traffic problem in Redondo Beach? If so, what are the problems and how would you address them? And we're going to start with you, Diana.
Well, I think if we've all driven down PCH, we'll know that there is a huge amount of traffic on PCH. Now, to be quite honest, I don't know what there is to fix that. It is Pacific Coast Highway. It is the main highway going down all of our beaches. I live off of, now that everyone knows where I'm going to live, I live off of Pearl and PCH. And so I'm at that crosswalk, or the pretend crosswalk, I'm not quite sure, of Pearl, where I don't even think that there is a button, but there's just those flashing lights that nobody abides by. So you just kind of feel like you're jaywalking. So if you want to get your jaywalk in for the day, I guess you can. But it's not safe. I know that there was just, not because of the crosswalk, but there was just an accident right at Pearl a couple months ago where there was somebody that I believe was intoxicated just ran through. So in terms of dealing with traffic, I mean, I think that there is traffic. I don't know, I don't have a solution for you right now today, but I think that we can look into it, and it's worth looking into.
Great, thank you. Kim?
Well, I would recommend synchronizing the lights on Pacific Coast Highway. I know that when lights are properly synchronized and people drive the speed limit, then traffic is easily eased. So sometimes the traffic we actually create ourselves by not driving the speed we should be going, but we would want to make sure that the lights are synchronized. And other than that, I really don't know where else to start.
Great, thanks. Jim?
Well, this is a big topic of mine, one of them that got me into this forum. First off, 83% of Redondo workers commute outside the city, and I think we need to fix that. We need to start bringing jobs back into Redondo so we don't have to commute out of it. And then we put in the right businesses so that people don't have to leave Redondo to get their amenities and the things they want to do day to day, the restaurants they want to go to, movie theaters they want to go through, and et cetera, and that will cut down traffic. Secondly, if we put in the right kind of development, we can control traffic much better. And in fact, that was a major consideration in Measure A. The type of development does determine the amount of traffic that will go in an area. And we picked uses and we incented uses that would cut traffic versus grow it. And then finally, there's simple infrastructure type of things, like right now the bus stops are right on PCH and traffic backs up behind them. If we could get cutouts so that they can pull out of traffic and let traffic flow, we'd have a much cleaner traffic flow in our city. Thank you.
Jeff.
I feel that in Redondo Beach, getting people more and more knowledgeable on using their, the people that live locally especially and work locally on their bicycles and using the local bus system. Sadly, most of the time when you look at our local buses, they're empty or there might be 2 people on them. And so we've got this large bus going back and forth, but there's no one on it, and yet there's people sitting at traffic lights honking at the guy in front of them. I would like to see that change. I would like to see more bike lanes and incentives for employers to get their employees to ride their bikes or walk or use the bus. And with that, I think that would make a big difference with regards to traffic in our area.
Okay, great. Now this is our last question of the day. So, and Kim, we're going to start with you. What do you see the city council's role in regard to engaging the school board to solve mutual problems?
I think it's very important for city council to work with the school board to open up lines of communication and to look at what is needed for our future, to not be short-sighted, and to listen to the school board, because we as city council, we have an idea of what the school board needs, but the school board really knows what they need most. And I think when you put people in positions of authority, they can really only be effective if you give them the power to enforce what they're doing. So listening to them, I would follow their lead.
Great, thank you. Jim.
This area is a passion of mine. Having had to do recruiting for an aerospace firm for DoD work that requires clearances, it's very hard to get good engineers that have American citizenship. And I think a failing of that is the communities that we're growing up in, and we're not incenting kids to get the right type of education. So I think a partnership between the city council and the school board is absolutely essential, and we should be helping them to incent kids to go on to good jobs, move back here, and bring good jobs back to our area. And some of the ways we can do that, I'm not sure of right now, but I'd love to meet with the school board and talk about that. I have seen kind of a division between the school and the city that may be getting patched, but particularly with the Nob Hill property, and I think we need to pull that back together. Thank you.
Great. Next.
I agree. We need a much better partnership with the school board. I don't understand why, after all these years, that it isn't better than it is. But again, that's one of my skills that I'm good at, is bringing people together. I have complete confidence between the school board, and if I'm on city council, I can make a big difference with that. There's no question, and it's needed, and there's no reason that we operate separately. We might as well work together. I mean, that's what we're all here for.
Great. And you get the last answer.
Thank you. I think we're all in agreement that the school board and the city council needs to foster a relationship and build a partnership with the school board. I mean, like Jim Light said, our schools are the future, our children are where our children go in the future of what is the Redondo Beach community. And so to have a friction between what is the city council and the school board really just doesn't make sense. I'm not quite sure of the drama and the politics behind it, but whatever it is, it needs to be mended, because our schools are our kids, and that's our future.
Okay, well, that concludes all of our questions. We're now going to go to the 1-minute closing statements, and going in the order that we've been following. Jim, you're up first.
Okay. As I stated in my opening, I think Redondo is at a crossroads. We can continue down the easy path that leads to soulless, cookie-cutter overdevelopment, or we can choose a different path. We can choose a path that leads to the rejuvenation of Redondo Beach, a path that leads us to become the crown jewel of the South Bay and the envy of our sister cities, a path that leads us to a Redondo Renaissance. I have a vision that follows this path. I have dedicated a decade of my life working for our quality of life, and now I'm asking one thing in return, and that's the chance to execute on this vision. So I ask you for your vote to serve as your councilman. Thank you very much.
Okay, next.
Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Public safety in the city of Redondo Beach is a priority of mine. I will continue improving the Riviera Village to ensure the village will remain our Mayberry. I will enhance public art as I already have begun along the Esplanade with the mosaic art projects. I will develop environmentally conscious policies in the city to increase energy efficiencies like the LED streetlight program. I will be supportive of our seniors, youth, and business community. I will work with our schools to form effective partnerships. It is my goal to be accessible and responsive to your concerns. To set one thing straight also about Measure A, just so everyone knows, I agree. If it's whatever the people vote, I will support what the people vote for with regards to Measure A. I'd be honored to have your support and your vote on March 5th. Thank you. For more information, visit jeffginsburg.org or call me 310-462-3221.
Sorry, next candidate.
Sorry.
Ooh.
So I'm tired of the same old politicking and the no change, tired of not having your voices be heard or my voice be heard, tired of politicians not doing something because it's not popular. So in terms of, I think that as a leader, you have to take a stand on an issue. I think that voters look to you and ask you what your opinion is on something. So I think it's important to take a stand. It may not be popular, and you may not get elected, but you get your voice out there. I'm that person that's going to do that. You may not like me, you may love me, but I think that I have a great quote that says, "Well-behaved women seldom make history," that I have on the back of my car, and I go by that. You know, I may not be very well behaved per se according to whatever standards are, but I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna make your voice and my voice heard, regardless of the popularity behind it. Thank you.
Great. And Kim, the last answer that.
Well, admittedly, I might not be the most eloquent candidate up here. I really am impressed by the three of you. And you've presented quite a challenge for me because I've taken myself outside my comfort zone to be here. Running for city council, I am completely comfortable with. I am running to serve our community. I am an everyday person, and I see that things need to be done. If you elect me, I will work to restore public safety numbers, revitalize our local businesses, and honor the will of our voters. I will not accept taxpayer-funded benefits. I am doing this to do the right thing and to move us forward. I want to make Redondo Beach the place it can be, the place where families want to live, businesses want to locate, and tourists want to visit. I'm ready to do the work, and I ask for your vote March 5th. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much. And at this time, we have come to the end of the District 1 Forum, so I want to thank you everyone for attending. On behalf of the board of the Chamber of Commerce, we want to thank you for taking the time to participate in this informational event. We know it's a lot of dedication, putting yourself out there, being a true leader, and just stepping up to lead in our community is outstanding, and we appreciate that. We want to thank our sponsors for being here today and sponsoring this event with the Redondo Beach Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau. Please remain this afternoon at 4:30 in the lobby to meet the candidates. All of our candidates hopefully will be there at 4:30. Meet in the lobby, take your questions, and a chance to get to know them one-on-one. And once again, on behalf of the Chamber, thank you for coming out today.
And thanks to the Chamber.